Many people heading into Week 9, myself included, thought that the Vikings season was over, not just because Carson Wentz left with a shoulder injury that he will not return from, but they just looked bad, and we never knew if J.J. McCarthy was going to start or if he could be effective. However, going to Detroit, winning that game 27-24, J.J. McCarthy showed everyone why Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings brass believed in him heading into the season. What is up, Skull Nation, Vikings fans, and NFL fans at large? Welcome to the Lumia Sports Podcast. Check us out. We are so happy with everyone who subs, likes, comments. We're just happy you guys are watching the vid. And one thing I'm super proud of, we do every single team every week. By the end of today, this is Friday, all the games will be updated from last weekend, and we're going to have some previews coming at you guys with me and Tony the Tiger on Saturday and Sunday, so check those out. But I'm interested, let's see what we have said about the Minnesota Vikings so far this year. Up and down season, obviously. Carson Wentz in and out of the lineup, McCarthy injured. We said the Lions would destroy you guys. More on that in a minute. We said Carson Wentz can't start anymore. He is chalked. And we said that Carson Wentz was just saving the season and then ruining the season. So check out those videos, other ones on the page. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now back to the episode. And this game was so big for the Vikings as the NFC race. I mean, it is crazy. But a team that made the playoffs last year started off 14-3, let Sam Darnold go to have J.J. McCarthy and have McCarthy come back in, win that game. Again, we'll talk more on that, but for them right now, the 10th seed still behind a lot of teams. Panthers and Bears sitting there with 5 wins. Detroit 6-3, well, 5-3, sorry. So you are behind a lot of teams, but you distance-wise aren't that far behind, and a huge game for the Vikings coming up this week, which again we will talk about. But to win that game, kind of fight back, get back to 500, and now be in this position, really, really interesting. The biggest problem for the Vikings is that, I mean, their division is just crazy. I mean, the NFC North right now is the best division in the league, and at 4-4, they're just the worst team. Now, I think they're better than the Bears. They beat the Bears, but they have less wins than them. The Lions right now sit there at 5-3, and the Packers at 5-2 themselves. But the biggest thing the Vikings have going for them, they can still win this division because they are 2-0 in the division. They so far up to this point, they've played very well against them, beating the Bears and the Lions. Haven't played the Packers yet, so we shall see. But I'm impressed with the Vikings, kind of what they've done with their quarterback missing all these games. And let's see how we've gotten to this point. Came out week 1. Looked weird, but in the end, they overcame the Bears in a huge win, 27-24. That loss to the Falcons was rough, and J.J. McCarthy ended up leaving that game to not return for a couple weeks. So then you get the Wentz starts. Wentz, hey, look, he beat the Bengals, he beat the Browns. He lost to every team that matters in the Steelers, Eagles, and Chargers. Can't really blame him for those wins or those losses, but this was huge coming back for McCarthy, beating the Lions. And now going forward, you have the Ravens, just tough games. Ravens, Bears, Packers, Seahawks. I would still have to say at this point, they're not a playoff team. They're going to end up missing, probably winning like 7 games just because their schedule. I mean, you still get, again, Detroit, Green Bay, but they're good against the division. But even your non-division games, Ravens, Seahawks, those are 2 tough opponents. Ravens coming up now. And a lot of it's going to be about J.J. McCarthy's health going forward. So I'm interested to see. It's gonna be a lot for the Vikings going down the stretch. And let's see if they can continue to do what they did on Sunday, beating a really, really good to great Lions team. Yeah, this game and this performance from J.J. McCarthy was my most shocking one of week 9 because I didn't know what to expect, and he was just amazing. I mean, the early touchdown to Jetta's just right over the shoulder, man coverage in the red zone. Like, that's the kind of play that that they really wanted, that they haven't had all year, obviously, with Wentz at quarterback. So that was huge. And they were already down 7-0 at that point. So for him to drive down the field and get that touchdown was amazing. 3rd and 8. Oh, actually, I don't know if he drove down the field. I think they might have had a big kick return to get there, if I remember correctly, to get him to like the 40. But to still finish off that drive was huge. 3rd and 8, under pressure. The Vikings offensive line has been very bad all year. That's why Wentz is out for the season now, the shoulder injury. He was getting beat up. So, and that's why McCarthy was injured earlier in the year. The offensive line not very good, but they were screaming at him all game, and he was still able to make plays. And just 3rd and 8, rolling to the left, hitting Addison on the next drive was huge. Just a great call there on on a fake to go up 14-7, and again with McCarthy just getting screamed at, he just continued to answer the bell, and I just think that late in the game, everything on the line, because he was making clutch plays throughout the entire game, but late in the game to have it in the red zone, 3rd and goal from the 9, right? I think they were only up 3 at this point. I don't remember the exact score, but for him to just scramble out and get a touchdown on that play, to go up 27 to, I believe, 27-17, where you're going up against an explosive offense, you need to keep scoring the ball, and for McCarthy to do that, to show that he runs enough, right? Like you honestly, if you're the Vikings, he's got to play, right? But you don't want him running too much because of his obvious injury history. He's only played 3 games this year. But that touchdown was huge. And then game on the line, money on the line, 27-24. The Lions had just gone down, scored a touchdown like that on a deep pass to Jamison Williams. And you get a 3rd and 5. Oh, first off, I forgot. The first play of that drive, 1st and 10, they misconnect on the handoff. They don't run the right play. He runs up and gets 5 yards out of that, which was huge. Like the fact that he could turn around off a handoff that didn't happen, run up the middle and get 5 yards. An incredible play to not have that lose 3 yards and really put you in a tough position. And then 3rd and 5, back shoulder pass to, oh my gosh, who was it to? Because it wasn't to Addison or Jettis, but just a back to Naylor. So a back shoulder pass to Naylor. Just the last guy you're expecting, and he was well covered, and it was just an amazing throw. And that is what JJ was doing all game, running around, making tough passes, showing us why the Vikings were like, no, this is the guy. He was sacked 5 times, hit 9 other times. You just don't know how long he's going to be able to last with that. 155 total yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have a turnover, but I really liked the way he played the game. And the reason it was so shocking, their pass defense was ranked 12th. The Lions are a good defense, right? And they are second in the league right now in sacks per game with 3.5. 13th in points allowed, allowing 22. We saw what they did to Baker Mayfield a couple weeks ago. They had Lamar kind of flummoxed. So for him to go out there and win that game, really, really impressive. But this was a whole team win. The Vikings defense answered the bell, struggling recently against the Eagles and the Chargers, letting up a bunch of yards, getting kind of cooked by the Chargers on the ground. But this game, Flores was just unrelenting. He was just calling so many amazing blitzes, catching Goff off guard. 5 sacks on Jared Goff, which was huge. Even when they were driving down the field, Brian Cashman forcing that big forced fumble on David Montgomery. When they were up 17-14, that was big to keep them off the board there. Wilson was blitzing up the middle, their middle linebacker Eric Wilson, and he got 2 huge sacks. They continued to it. They found something with the Lions' pass protection, and Gibbs tried to block him but just had no chance a couple of times, so they were exposing that. And one of the biggest plays of the game, special teams, Levy Drake Rodriguez blocking that field goal was huge. That led to Isaiah Rodgers scooping it up, taking it all the way to the 30. And again, the Vikings were able to score a touchdown off of that. So the defense, special teams, making big plays out there. And going against the number 2 offense in the league, I think they're actually number 3 in points now with 30 a game, and just holding them to 65 rushing yards when we know that for the Vikings that had been a problem all year. That was a good job. I was just, how could you not be impressed by what the Vikings did in this specific game? The problem with it, and there's no problem with it, I mean, great game, great win for them, trying to keep your season alive. The issue is that, my goodness, it's just their schedule is just going to be so tough down the stretch. And I don't know how many of these games, like we talked about the schedule earlier, I don't know how many of them they can win. I don't know how many of them J.J. McCarthy can play, but you see when he plays the potential they thought. Of the 2-year guys who have played this year, that game was really impressive. I'd say Drake May is better so far this season. But when he plays, like we've seen McCarthy do, the comeback against the Bears is very good stuff. He looked bad against the Falcons. We didn't know the Falcons were going to have the number 1 pass defense in the league at that point. And this game against the Lions on the road, like that was some big-time stuff. It's just going to be about the health. We're going to find out about that as the season goes on because they don't have any protection. But if they can get that kind of play from McCarthy, they are a viable team and one that still, even at the 10th seed right now, can definitely make the playoffs. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please watch some of the other videos on the site. I've created a playlist with each and every football team, and every week we will be going over those games. I'm really loving this, enjoying it, and hoping you guys are as well. Of course, like, subscribe, and if anyone wants to sponsor, we're looking for Lumia Sports Productions is looking for sponsors. Shout us out. We will shout you out during the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day. Enjoy.